Hello and welcome back to the 10 Pint Podcast. We're here with me, Luke, as normal, and Beefham.
Yes, lad.
And today we're here with a very special guest, Luke Powell.
Yes,
How are we, mate?
Good, you know. You?
Yeah, good, you know. So thanks a lot for coming on. So before I get started off, I think tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Start off with.
So I played football growing up for Everton. Everton Football Club. I joined them at the age of 13. Played all the way up until I done the 2-year YT, and I didn't get my pro contract. So up until I was 18, I played for Everton, and then I went down the lower league teams. I went to like Lincoln on trial, couple of like Altrincham, places like that. But I just kind of lost my love for it. I went down the leagues, played for Barrow for a little bit, and then it just ended up in the Welsh leagues, the Welsh Prem, Aberystwyth, Carnarvon, places like that. Just picking up a little wage each month to carry it on. But I kind of lost my love at the age of 18 for it really, and I went. Got myself into the personal training, into the fitness game. Tried a number of different businesses in the meantime of that. All failed, like didn't do great. Food businesses, restaurants, all different types like that. And then I finally found a purpose on what I was supposed to do, which is the online. And it's called ShredFast program now. So I started the online fitness program with that about 3 years ago now. And yeah, it's kind of just took off in this past 2 years, 18 months especially. Just got the second premises now, which is called Heal Wellbeing in the middle of Liverpool city centre. So on our second premises, and the online's booming, just going really well now. Like, so just building it from there really. But yeah,
Yeah. So do you remember the game when you got picked up, like that period?
I remember the exact game. Yeah, it was on the Allerton pitches by the Tesco. I'm not too sure what they're called. But, just by on Allerton Road as you're going down, just before like you'll come to, can't think of it, just the big Tesco superstore. It's just there. I remember the pitch exactly, and it was a Champions League. It used to be called. I don't know if you remember it. So like the top 1 or 2 teams from each Sunday league sector would go into this, and like even they'd come over from abroad as well. So we played the French team. I think they were called Dijon or something like that.
Yeah,
there was a couple of really good teams in from Europe. So we played there, and scouts from all around had come because they obviously knew they weren't just going to any type of game. It was like the best, really, the Sunday league. So you'd have loads of scouts there. And the game that I got scouted, it was Preston, Samia, Liverpool and Everton all asked me to go down. And I went to Preston and I went to Everton because I'd already been to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like the feel of it. I didn't click with the lads, didn't click with the coaches. It was just a little bit.
Why do you reckon that was? Just weren't ready at the time.
Couldn't tell you, but I was really insecure as a kid, though. Do you know what I mean? It was all being my own issues. I mean, if I'd have went in there as a confident young lad, which a lot of kids are, especially if you're good at football, which I was, I just didn't have the confidence to back it up at that age, that young age. So I just kind of felt alienated in there, and something just didn't click for me. Couldn't put my footies together. I just didn't perform at all to what I could. And as soon as I went back to Sunday League, scoring every week 2, 3, 4, 5 goals sometimes, and then I'd get a chance there and it just wouldn't click. So I ex Liverpool out, which was weird because I supported Liverpool.
I just thought asking you supported.
I was on mad bet, bro. Honestly, like one of the best memories of my life is the Champions League final 2005.
Yeah,
one of the best memories of my life, like honestly. But I just couldn't put it together there. So I exed them out and I exed Sammy out, and I just went to Preston on trial, played 1 game there, and then I actually scored in that game, in the trial game. I think we won 3 or 4-0. A couple of us went down, and then I went to Everton, and I liked it straight away. But when I say, I still wasn't confident at all, even at Everton. I was still like...
Confident in yourself, or like confident sort of
ability,
in the
everything,
game?
bro, everything, you know, everything just fell apart. From the minute I signed from Everton, it was a slow deterioration in confidence until... It slowly started to spike back up, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
And it was just a little too late.
Did any coaches ever pick up on that and say anything to you about it?
100%. Kev Sheedy always had a little soft spot for me. But then that spun round as well at the very end. But Kev always used to come up and used to say, look, he took me aside. I always remember one session he took me to the side and said, you've got the ability that people can't do. He said, the way you can finish the ball, he said, I'll watch you do something. And there's not many kids can do it like that. And then the next minute I'm missing open goals and Do you know what I mean? It was like, there was no in between with me, bro. I was either firing on all cylinders, doing things like, where people would be like, wow, it's brilliant, that, or I was abysmal. So Kev pulled me aside and said that, and he definitely could see that. As well as I didn't have the confidence, I was just a bit of a mad kid. Like I couldn't never settle when I was young, and I'd always be just, well, let's do this, let's do that, messing around, and all the lads will tell you like hoping that, and I was just constantly messing around, couldn't shut up, couldn't stop talking. I was just like, my mind just race, and even like to the point of the learning aspect of it, I wouldn't even mean to. It was just pure attention deficit disorder. Like, they'd be speaking, telling us how to do certain things, and I'd just be like, I didn't even know I was doing it, and then they'd be like, Luke, and I'd be like, I didn't even know when I drifted 99% of the time. So I really used to struggle to take the information on. But then when I just like let me game flow, I was shit hot, to be honest with you. That's the truth. Like, I was quick and strong and powerful, and I could put the ball in the back of the net when I was on form, but I didn't have the confidence, I didn't have the discipline, and I didn't have the mindset at that young age.
I always think at that age, like I've never been good enough, neither of you, to play for an academy, but I always think it must take the fun out of it, knowing that you're like being in an academy, it's like being in an apprenticeship essentially, isn't it? And you're going to get this boss job potentially. Well, you think you are at that age anyway. It just seems like it takes the fun out of it rather than playing Sunday League. If you lose, it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you've had fun, really.
That's where you play your best game, bro. That's exactly what it was, bro. What you're saying there, that's what my uncle was like. He took the father figure role in my life, and he took me to footy every day, there and back at Everton. And he even says to this day, we were speaking about it just around Christmas time, you've said the difference, like, instantly as soon as I signed that contract for Everton, the fun aspect went exactly as you say, lad. It was like, it was too serious, and as I've just said then, I was a bit of a boisterous young lad, so I was perfect in that Sunday League environment, turning up 10 minutes before, just like rubbing your hands together, do a couple of keepy-ups with the lads, and then go and play a game. Whereas Everton, it was just, everything was different. Pressure was on. My first game, they were like, do you want to come down for the trial games? I was like, yeah, sweet. We got there, we were playing Feyenoord. Wow, they were absolute animals. Like, animals, just fully, do you know, where they've just developed at a totally different rate, those European. And they were just monsters, bro. And I think they beat us 6-0. Must have touched the ball about 4 times. Like, I think they put me on the left wing. I was a striker. So they bought me in against the best team he probably ever played and put me on the left wing and was just like, yeah, do your thing. That's the type of, because they almost do that as a test. Like, let's see what you've got. Let's see if you've got, because in all honesty, they can't be arsed with you, lad, if you're not up to that standard. Why would they invest in you? Why would they actually invest in you? And people can say it's harsh and it's this and that, but at the end of the day, bro, it's a business. And you're either good enough or you're not. Simple as that. And I wasn't good enough, do you know what I mean? There was people who was. And it's not just down to ability, it's down to how you handle pressure. It's down to your mentality. It's down to listening, having the willingness to learn, the self-discipline to, and also a degree of luck. Do you know what I mean? Like, being liked. You know what I'm saying? How many people do you know, if I was to ask 10 different people whether they like you or not, you're going to get all different opinions, aren't you? So you've got to understand that when you're at a club, trying to get one sole contract for this one club, and you've got all different opinions, all these different coaches have got different opinions. Some like you, some don't. Some want to see you succeed, some think you're a gobshite. So it's like, there's so many opinions zoned in, but there's only one decision left to be made, and that's if you get that pro contract or you don't. Or
it's mad how someone's opinion can change the trajectory of your life, essentially, isn't it? Like that one coach's decision, him saying, yeah, you can get a scholar, or yeah, you get a pro, or oh, no. Exactly. That can change your mentality in general, isn't it?
I can't, honestly, if it's the old cliche saying of like, if you knew what you knew now, to apply back then, totally different ball game, bro. But that's just not how life works, is it? You're a young kid back then, you don't know any better, and you just fall into, or you take the decisions of others, how they, like, you allow them to fully influence you, how you act, how you are, what you do. Whereas if you just had a bulletproof mentality now, bulletproof mindset, which I've developed now, nothing would have affected me. I'd just cracked on. I'd have went to the next team. And got to understand though too, we started off in the porter cabins in Everton. which is goals now.
Goals, yeah.
Yeah. So, lad, it was kind of swearing this, by the way.
Yeah.
It was a shithole. It was a proper shithole. It was like porta cabin. Like, I remember the showers, bro, right? You press it, and you know the pole that leads up the pipe? You'd have to put your hands like this for it to trickle. So it trickled off you onto your head, bro. That's how you get showered. So that's how it started, but then we moved to like the state-of-the-art complex, you know, in Finch Farm.
Yeah.
It was next level, bro. It was one of the best in the UK. So we went from that to that. And then going back from there to going to like Altrincham and Barrow, you almost do feel above it. And at that age, you don't know any difference. You don't know what kind of arrogance is, or so you're like, the balls are fucking flat. You like, you haven't got no even water sometimes on the pitch to have a drink when you're in the middle of training. You're getting served slop and butties after you've trained. It just, you start to just be like, why would they do this? So I remember like, and as well, the contract I remember getting offered from Barrow was 150 quid a week. It used to cost me 70 quid a week in juice. I went driving, but that's what I had to give the car school. Yeah. So like, what? 80 quid a week? You're like, what do you do with that, lad? How are you supposed to make a career on that?
Yeah.
It was mad, bro. And this is when I was 19, 20. Yeah. This wasn't a scholar no more. So it was just, you lose all love and you think, why am I going down here? Why am I travelling all the way down here? The lads there, a couple of the lads were all right, but a couple of them were idiots, lad.
Yeah.
It was at that weird niche in it where you thought they were footy players, but it was like, you aren't really.
Anthony Gerrard said that when we had him on. He said when he's playing, I think it was Chesterfield in the conference, you've got lads turning up on these big mad cars. It's like, lad, playing in the 5th tier, shouldn't be walking around like that.
Some of them were so cool, bro. Honestly, some of them were so cool, and some of them just genuinely just thought the shit didn't stink, and it was just like you're playing for Barrow in the conference, bro. Like you haven't got the, you're not killing it. If you was as good as you think you are, you'd be at least League 2, League 1, Championship. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there was levels to it, and I just didn't get on with anyone there. Yeah. I'd always remember getting into the car school, and I'd get in and put my earphones in straight away. And one of the lads, because it was all the older lads, and he said, "Oh, like you're arrogant little cunt or something." I was only 19, and I was just like, "What?" He said, "You're arrogant little cunt," and I just put them back. And I just didn't want to. I had nothing in common with them. I didn't want to speak to them. I genuinely had nothing in common with them, so I didn't like them. I didn't like the setup. I didn't like anything about it, and that's where wasn't just I didn't like it anymore. I started hating it. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I started.
Do you think you would have still hated it if you were still at Everton, or would you think it was the circumstances?
No, 100% not, bro. 100% not. If I'd have got my pro contract, as I said to you, mentioned at the beginning, so my confidence, I just as we got told yes or no for the pro, I was just starting to come back up. So mine was like a slow decline, like a decline. So Sunday League, my confidence and my ability was sign for them, right down to the bottom. Then what started to happen is in the scholarship from 16 to 18, this was happening. Yeah, I was becoming more confident. I was becoming like the life and soul of the changes, and that I was becoming kind of like, I was the kind of, people had like turned to me, and that I was like, I was making a bit of a name for myself in it, and my ability was starting to show as well. And in the lead up to it, they said they give me an extra 5 games or 6 games. It was 5 or 6 games they give me extra before they told me, compared to everyone else, because I'd been injured. So they said, we're not going to tell you now, like when they told everyone else yes or no. They said, we're going to give you an extra like month and a half or whatever it was, 6 weeks I think. And he said, and then we'll make a decision because we need to get to see you. And within that time, I was slotting goals for fun. I scored 2 against Burnley. I scored 2 against Blackburn. I scored 1 against Bolton. So I think I scored 5 and 6. And they were belted, like one of the goals, I'd scored 2 at Blackburn. I hope come out for this one. And we're just on fire. I got the ball just past the halfway line, knocked it. And I hit it from the halfway line to the underside of the bar. Hit the line. It would have been one of the best goals I've ever scored in my life. I always remember watching it on the Monday on replay, and everyone was losing the plot. But like if that had gone in, and then the one thing I always say that changed it, no that we were saying before, like one decision or one opinion. We was playing in the FA Youth Cup against Norwich. we were drawing 1-1, bro, and he brought me on for the last 20. Me and Connor went up front.
Yeah.
Jay McCartan got the ball at just past our box, and I've dropped into the pocket. Connor's spun off, and Jay like drilled the ball in with a nice little bit of backspin on it. I've dropped into the pocket. As it's come to me, I've chested the first time to Connor. Bear in mind, so you got the two centre halves trying to man Marcus. I've dropped into the pocket. He's come with me. So Connor has come off to the side.
Yeah.
I've dropped to the pocket, hit Connor one time with the chest, and then I've spun off behind him, for the 1-2.
Yeah.
And it was all one touch from the keeper to Jay. Jay took one, hit it into me, one touch from me, one touch right back from Connor for the 1-2. I've gone through on goal 1-1, chipped it over the keeper's leg, hit both posts and rolled out, bro, and then got cleared. And I swear, if I'd have scored that goal and took us through in the FA Youth Cup, that was the quarter final. Yeah. If I'd have took us through to the semis, I'd have got a contract, no brainer, bro.
It's the what if, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd 100% got a contract. Now, in retrospect, I'm made up, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that's the God's honest truth. That's with like all me hating for footy and everything's gone now completely. I can say with a pure heart, like, I'm so happy of being a footy player. And that's for the reason that I've still got friends who are footy players and they're amazing people. But 90% of footy players I meet aren't. It's like they never get to grow up because they've never left that environment. Yeah. They're still like pulling each other's kecks down in the changes. 33, 34, do you know what I mean? They just don't get it. And then when they're outside of that environment, they don't seem to have anything in common with anyone else. And it's a big problem, bro, because they're on mega money and they're just in this thing where they're just treated like royalty everywhere they go. And when they come out of that circle, and they're in a big bad world, and it's like retirement and stuff, and you're not the boy anymore. Yeah, that's I can massively understand why it's such a big problem. You know, like retired footballers and just athletes in general, because they do develop this mentality that they're just untouchable, and that it's always going to be that way, and it's not the case. So
things move on, don't they? Things just move on.
100%, and you learn so much just in general outside of football that you're protected from in football.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything which could be done to sort it out footballers in that sense?
The only thing would be the wage capping and stuff like that, which is never going to happen, so it's not even worth debating, is it? It's not going to happen, because how does it start? Like, the younger players are going to always get offered crazy money to come, so if you're breaking through 13, 14, and the big boys come in, Madrid or Arsenal, I don't even know who the big ones are in England anymore, but if they come in and scout a young lad, they're just going to offer them big money to come. Yeah. There's no way to solve it. So, no, I don't think there actually is an answer, lad. I think things can be done to try. Have you ever said, like, the footy players you've had on now, they'll probably vouch for it as well. The best way I can imagine, I've just got a young daughter now, but she's too young to even like speak at the minute, but from what me mates are telling me about what I've got to come, it's like when you tell your son or your daughter something and it just goes in one ear and out the other at that age. That's what trying to speak to footy players is like, and I can speak on personal experience from both friends that I've got and also being one myself. And when people were trying to tell me at that young age this, that, you don't listen.
It's because everyone's buzzing off you as well. Like, even as we said, the salary cap, some of them City players, for example, 17, 18, could be on 40, 30 grand a week. Even if you put 50% cap on that, take 50% off, they're still on 20 grand. Bro, most 16, 17-year-olds are on about £6-7 an hour.
Give them $2 grand a week, they're still act the same.
Yeah.
Because like $2 grand a week at that age, you're just living, lad. You've got no worries, because it's also with the promise that you're going to get more. Yeah. You're getting like, I mean, these contracts, it's like first year this much, second year this much, third year this much. They're just sitting there just like, let's go. Yeah. And especially because they're so protected, because it's a sport. So, for example, in business, and I can speak like quite a lot on business now because that's my field. And if you're not performing as a member of my staff, you get sacked, you get fired, that's it. Like you'd say, you stop paying them essentially, don't you? They lose their job, so they've got a reason to perform. Like with a footy player, if they sign a 5-year deal, you correct me if I'm wrong, but who can say, if you're playing bad, you can only say, oh, you're having a bad, like you're going through a bad run, you're in bad form. Nothing happens to your money. No. You don't get your contract hit, and if you do terminate your contract, they have to pay you up, don't they? So you're sitting there and they get this 6-year deal on 70 grand a week. Say, what if they got, But what motivation have they got to improve?
There's no
Or stay
hunger
behind
there,
late?
is it?
No, lad, they can't.
Especially if you come from like a more
Can't
poor background, for example. You've made it, and you might not have made it like on the pitch, but if you look at your bank account and your family, you probably never had that amount of money as well.
Serious,
Like, you can't quantify that amount of money.
Football, the majority of people who are coming from that background, speaking about football, it's grassroots. It's like you're playing on the street, you play with your mates. These people are coming from favelas in Brazil and that.
Yeah.
Like we had a kid come over when we was at Everton. Two lads from Africa. They didn't have a pair of shoes, bro. We like all the lads were giving them all the stuff to go back with after they'd done the trial. Everyone tried to sign them, and I can't remember the name now. But I know that they made it big in the end.
Yeah.
And Everton tried the best to sign and couldn't sort a visa. He ended up going to Man City. You'll know who it is, but I couldn't tell you now who it was. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
These kids didn't have shoes, like they were just coming from like one of the poorest parts of Africa, and they were amazing, lad. Absolutely amazing.
How are Everton scouting them?
I've got no idea. I don't know how it all works, to be honest, with overseas stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. They must just go over, mustn't they? And
Yeah.
what do you even do? Just go to the villages and watch them play footy, because half of them wouldn't even play for the team.
It wouldn't even be in the right environment, was it? Wouldn't even be proper like boots. It'd be like.
Swear, bro. I've got no idea. But some of the scouts, scouting's a proper talent. That's one thing I would say.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
At the age of like 6 or 7, I swear they see like a mentality in kids at 6, 7. You know, that's a talent in itself.
That can change though, the mentality.
100%, bro. So that's where
you don't know what happens in the life, personal life.
But the ones who do come from him,
Yeah.
and they've been scouted at that young age, them scouts are flying because they take a percentage, don't they, on like
Yeah.
as soon as they bring them in.
Agents.
It's like they're really looking for what kids have got it. And it is a harsh game, but as I say, I think it's right. I think it's right. It should be that way.
Yeah.
Like only the best make it in that, and if you're not good enough, you just get told like you're not good enough. Do you want to be lied to your whole life? Told that you're great and told that you're good, but you're really poor, and everyone thinks you're poor, and that you can't. You just simply can't do it. As I just referred to in business, if someone's not pulling the weight and performing the job the way you want them to, you can't keep them because you feel bad.
Yeah.
So why in sport do we think it's any different? Because there's this big thing around it, isn't there? That they're just tossed to a side. They're not. We weren't just tossed to the side.
Yeah.
You did do quite a bit for us, but you don't want to know. You're a kid. Just like you're a kid in school.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is, lad. You're a young kid from Liverpool, or like from Birmingham, or from London, and you're from the streets, and you're just like, you don't want to be told, like, you don't care. You haven't got a contact, sweet sound. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not asked, I'm not bothered. That's how you see it. And so when these people are saying, yeah, you can go to college, we can do, they funded stuff and that for you, the PFA.
Yeah.
PFA pay stuff for you, they pay bills for me, they pay for the personal training course for me. There's a lot there, lad. You just got to know what to look for and like and accept the help they offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these people coming on saying that he's not there for you, lad. He is.
Yeah.
These people want everything given to them on a plate. They genuinely want everything given to them on a plate because that's what they got in football. And then I've got to actually go to college 5 days a week now, and I've got to earn my own money, and I've got to do this, and I've got yeah.
They've been under that blanket though, haven't they? The safety blanket, especially the Premier League clubs. I think the ground, and as you said before, like the shower not working and that, that is probably good. Because now they seem like, I've never been in there, I'm not talking from experience, just from stories. Like, you get everything given to them. You've got an agent at 14 and a boot sponsor.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, it did humble us, and we were our team reflected them. That like fucking getting in the shower, shivering, going home, getting home. Literally, I used to get in and still have mud all over my knees. You know, because you couldn't even get a proper shower. And we were the type of team, like, you come to our ground, we'll smashes. We used to give it to like United, and we used to beat Liverpool all the time because Liverpool had quite a lot of foreign players where we were all scousers, and we'd all just we'd go at everyone. It was good, and we reflected that like that grassroots mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to come to the Everton, like you knew you were in for a tough one. That's the type of mentality we had, and I say I didn't really hardly play that much, so it was more so the boys. But again, towards the end of I can vouch for it because I was instrumental part of it the past, say, 6 or 7 months of my second year. But the majority of it, I wasn't I wasn't a proper part of the team. They had the set 11.
Yeah.
And they all performed. So it was very, really switched.
So do you know what Everton is? Any sort of like coaches for the mental side of football there?
Mike Dickinson. So he was our education welfare officer. He's the only person I'd sit here now and say he helped me.
Yeah.
He like just in general. I only seen him the other week in Waterstone, was buying some books. And he asked what I was doing, and it was humbling to be able to tell him what I was doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I seen him, he lit up with a good smile to see, because he cares, lad.
Yeah.
None of the other coaches. Like,
is he still there now?
Yeah, no, he's retired, but he was there for right up until only recently. Like, do you know what I mean? And still keeps in touch with all the lads, even though he's retired.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's boss stuff like that, isn't it?
Brilliant lad, and Mike Dicko, man, I can't knock him. We did have there was a woman called Carmen or something as well. She was there for the mental side of things, and again, no, I don't know whether she just weren't great or we were just young lads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a combination of both, possibly. But no, we never really got much out with the mental side, lad. And for example, now it's something I want to get into. So this is why I was speaking to Mike, and I want to go in and speak to the Everton lads. Do you know what I mean? At like 16, 17, and tell them what I know now.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great. That'd be great for them. That
it will, bro. Like that is what I'm gonna do. I always said, like, I need to. When it comes to anything like that, bro, right? I need to be 100% confident in myself that I am like rock solid, bulletproof in my mindset, life, where my career is going, everything, before I go and try and give someone else advice.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, I want to fully establish myself as a solid, like, I want to be set. I want to be like really well, like highly respected, like the business maybe on like, I don't know, just some type of where I can actually say to them on maybe a chart or something, you know, like a Forbes list or something where you can actually say, boom, that's where I've got to, instead of just saying, oh yeah, I'm doing really well. Everyone's doing well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I want full validation, and then I'll go into these places and then give me talk, and I think it'll hold a little bit more. It'll hold a little bit more weight when in my words when I give the advice to the young kids.
Because you've been through it as well yourself, like from experience, rather than just like a psychologist going in. Yeah, they're trained, but then they haven't actually had that experience themselves. So why would you listen to them type thing? Especially as a 16-year-old, you think that.
You're dot on there. Yeah. I've said this all the time. You can't listen to someone tell you how to deal with trauma who's never been through trauma. It doesn't matter what PhD you've had, lad. Do you know what I mean? So and I take that into the program that I've got, the fitness side of it. I take that into that as well. And it's funny because I know Hope was the lad who recommended. So shout out to Hope. But Hope, I got this little saying from Hope, and it's in the trenches. So unless you've been in the trenches, though, you can't expect anyone else to go in the trenches. And the trenches just means like the nitty gritty, working hard, dripping with sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. I can't ask anyone to perform to that level unless I'm performing to that level along with them. Do you understand what I mean? So I think like experience is just invaluable. You can't, like I say, I can know all the science behind how to get in shape, how to push yourself, and what your max heart rate, get your max heart rate, your VO2 max should be this, your body fat should be this, but then I can not implement it myself. And when you're trying to give this advice to people, it holds no weight. As I say, people are just like, yeah, okay, you might know what you're talking about, but I'm really going to listen to you because you're not even implementing it yourself. Yeah, I'm just a massive proponent of like hard work. I don't believe in knowing it all. I believe in doing it all.
Yeah, so
I just believe in doing action.
Do you know what, Everton, were you always in like really good shape, or would you say like after Everton you're in better shape now, or when you were at Everton?
I was still in like really, like that's what I was known for. Coming through, I was just known for that. My first year scholar. So in the summer holidays when we finished our last year of school, I got expelled from school early, so I ended up having about 6 months of just being at home every day. And because I knew I was going to be going to full-time footy, even my mum was cool with me. she was just like, I mean, if I never had nothing lined up, she'd have probably been fuming, but she knew where I was going into Everton, so she just kind of let me do what I do. I had my own key, my house. I just get up when I wanted and cracked on for 6 months before I went to full-time Everton, so it was actually good. But I found that a weights bench in the back of an old, like, abandoned house grab ball used to go over when we were playing all the time at the top of the street. So this is about a year prior. So when it had gone over one time, I'd seen it, been there for like 6 months. So we were like, let's turf this, do you know what I mean? So we got it over the fence and I put it in man. And I always remember started off, literally, lad, we broke the head off a mop and put Coke bottles or Sprite bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Got like the 2 litre fat bottles you used to get.
Yeah.
And just filled them all with water and sellotape, not even tape, sellotape, bro. Like 2 or 3 that end, 2 or 3 that end, and that's what I do me bench press on. Swear, bro, bicep curls and like, no word of a lie, I smashed it. And then when I got expelled, my mum, she used to work for the Very catalogue.
Yeah.
And she ordered me some weights. I always remember, like, to go on the end of the bar, like proper weights and a full set of bar and a bicep curler. And she ordered me it just before I got expelled. So that's 6 months. I smashed it out in the garden every day, bro.
Yeah.
Like bicep curls, chest press, pull-ups. I used to do my pull-ups I had a basketball net in the back garden, so I just jumped down, do my pull-ups on that. And I got in proper heavy shape, lad. Like, cause I was skinny as a kid, but I was dead athletic. Used to win all the running, the sprinting, everything like that. Long jump, hurdles, high jump. Used to win everything, bro. And then, so I was dead athletic, do you know what I mean? But I was skinny.
Yeah.
So when I was doing these weights, the muscle was coming on and I was still dead skinny. So I just looked even bigger, like because I was so low body fat. And the kid, all the olders in there, the likes of Lee Molyneux and that. It was Lee Molyneux who actually said, bro, I took my top off the first day of the full-time scholar. And Lee was like, look at this kid here. And then everyone was getting the showers. And everyone was like, fucking hell, lad, what have you been doing? I was just chiseled up to death, bro. But so I was known for that. And I always remember this one time, and it just shows type of mentality. His name was Andy Taffnor or something like that. But he got called Taff. Just like, thought he was a big hard man, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. He was like, he was the reserve coach at the time. And I was injured. But I've always worked hard. Like, no matter what I said about before, where I was messing about, I worked hard. Like, if you tell me to do a run, I'll run until my lungs like blow out. Like, I'll do press-ups till I can't lift my arms up. Like, I always give everything. That's been my mentality. So, when I couldn't sing because I was injured, I was just in the gym all the time, banging gym, obviously, just to, as you do. Yeah. And I did start getting, like, I was looking even bigger than I was at first. This is about 3/4 of the way through my first year scholar, and Taff came out the gym. I came out one time and I just done the work, so almost being pumped, and I was getting a towel from the kit room, and Taff walked in and said, he went, you need to stay out the gym, do you know what I mean? And I was just like, what do you mean, Taff? And he was like, that's all you care about, is getting bigger and that, like, you need to be on the field, getting, like, playing. So I'm injured, Taff, what do you want me to do? And just grafting, like, doing my bit. He's like, well, you need to put that energy straight into the field. And so I can see what he was saying, but it's not the way to speak to a 16-year-old kid, like. No. He was just trying to, I was just like, I wanted to just do well. Just wanted to do well in whatever I was doing. I wanted to look good, feel good, be strong. Yeah. You know what I mean? I always remember because Victor Anichibi was like 4 or 5 years above me. One time, they used to have circles like sprayed onto the pitch on the field in Nether, and this was before we moved to the other complex, and I always remember seeing them do wrestling for pre-season strength training. Yeah. And he was just launching people about, bro. And I always thought, I was like 13, 14, and I used to think, I want to be like him. So that's when I started doing training like consistently from like 13, 14. I was press-ups, pull-ups. Just wanted to be big and strong like him, you know what I mean? Yeah. He did inspire me like he did. So I just thought I always trained and was always lean and strong and powerful and quick. So that's the reputation I had amongst the lads. I've always been like... Yeah. That's what he was. Do
you know what you were doing then? Like, obviously now you know, but did you actually know why you were doing the weights and what you were doing?
Kind of, lad, yeah. No, because like I'd actually like researching YouTube and that when YouTube was first coming on the scene. Yeah. Like in this was when I was like 15, so this is year 10 going into year 11 in school. I remember doing like 1,000 press-ups a day. Yeah. Every day. There's someone all these 1,000 press-ups a day, bro. I swear. 1,000 press-ups a day because I put the all the grind music on at the time. It's just because she's got YouTube. I was like, this is a belter. So I put that on the little banger of a computer we had in the back room, and I'd have that on all day listening to them. pushing out press-ups, all different ways, feet on the couch, just normal ones, dips, like, just honestly, lad, and I'd do 1,000, bro. I'd just do it non-stop, the whole day. Not, like, without stopping.
Yeah.
All through the day, 10 hours, I'd just do them. Still be doing them 10 o'clock at night, and I'd just bang them out. So I did kind of know, and I knew, like, I was breaking down muscle tissue and it repairs stronger.
Yeah.
I did know that from a dead early age. I researched all that. I used to watch a lot of the calisthenics. You're on, like, the people who do, like, they go to, like, playgrounds, basically, and do it on the bars.
Yeah.
I used to watch all that back in the day, and you do the bar workouts. So I started doing all that type of stuff too in the parks. I got into that. And I go to the park and just do pull-ups and dips on all the park stuff. So, yeah, even back at that age, I did kind of know what I was doing. I was doing it to get bigger. I was doing it to get strong, lad.
So no one at Everton. So do you not have a plan at Everton for strength and conditioning or anything like that?
Yeah, we did, from about the age of 13. Lad. We were doing, like, deadlifts and cleaning presses and that from dead early, bro. Like 13, 14 we was, Yeah. So we were all in decent shape as well, not just me. Everyone was in half decent shape. We would always do, I think it was twice a week we'd do gym stuff and we'd do sprint work.
Yeah. You look at, like, footballers look more, I don't know, a lot of them look more lean and muscular, I'd say.
When I was at Everton, everything was different, bro.
Yeah.
The people who were at the head of the football at the time, I'd come over from American football. His name was Kyle. He was a big unit.
Yeah.
And they were all about sprinting and power. And that's kind of how Everton used to play back then. This is going 2005.
Moyes then.
6. And they were just monsters, weren't they? They were a good, solid team.
Yeah.
And that's how we had us training. We were all big and strong.
Yeah.
So when I left, Connor always says, because Connor was there years after I was, and he always says, like, that's when it changed. That's when the philosophy of strength and conditioning in football changed. Basically the year after I left, this new coach came in, and it was more so, let's get lean, let's get, like, agile, let's get lower body strong, but upper body we don't want to be too heavy. And it changed that year.
What year did you leave Everton?
2008.
2008, yeah. What was the sort of, like, going back a bit? Do you know the last meeting you have with Everton? What sort of happens there then?
Yeah, like, lad, literally, I was walking down the corridor, and one of the lads, I can't remember who it was, who said, one of the members of staff said, Luke, Ray wants to have a word with you, he's ready for you to tell you. So I walked into the changes. I think I was walking back, so I had to put something back in my bag or something. I was eating something or something at the time. I've walked back in the changes to put something back, and all the lads were there. I was like, going to find out now, I want to swear, lad. They can all vouch for Hope was there, Connor, Duffy. And they were like, how long do you reckon, lad? How long? And we were talking about how many years, because it was either a year, 1 year you got. Some people got 1 year, which
pro,
meant they were giving you a 1 year pro, but, like, let's see how you get on. And then some lads got 2 year pros and some got even 3. So they were asking, we were saying how, basically the questions was, just before I went up, how long and what am I going to get?
Yeah.
The wage at the time when you went pro was $450 or $550.
Yeah.
Depending on what he taught you. And then the really good ones like Moses, who being bought from Arsenal, were like $750s, $850s. So we were discussing, is it going to be $450 or $550? And is it going to be 1 year or 2 year? Because as I say, I'd scored 5 and 6. So it wasn't really wasn't a question. Not like we all just taught him definitely getting a year, because I was proper on form, bro. I was on form, and I went, and he just said, literally sat there right on and said, we're not going to beat around the bush, Luke. We're not going to offer you the contract. Like, that's how he said it, lad. And like, I didn't expect it. I thought at least he was going to, you know, when someone tells you bad news, they'll say, even like though it falls on kind of deaf ears, or you're just in apprehension of what you're getting told, at least like, we just want to say, you've done brilliant, or this or that. Being a man, still only 17 at the time. So none of that, lad. It was just boom straight in. And I was just like, I was still processing it, and then he's still talking.
About to say, you
Not that he said after that year, lad. Not one single word, bro. As soon as he said I didn't get it, I was like, I remember the exact feeling, thinking, like, processing, thinking, as he actually just said, like, I've really not got one. And I couldn't process it quick enough because of how quick he'd said it, bro. So he said no. And I walked out, and Mike Dicko, again, big shout, because I like, this is why I own one, lad, and things like this always stick with me. And I walked out, bro, and I won't lie, I was crying my eyes out, do you know what I mean? So I was crying my eyes out, bro. Just like I had my whole dream since I was 5 years old, 6 years old, ruined, bro. So Mike walked out and was like, Luke, what's up? I was just like, oh, nothing, Mike, nothing. And he was like, no, Luke, like, chased me down the corridor. He's like, what's up? I said, I was just being told there, no. And he was like, what? He said, you've just been told, then on your own. And I said, yeah. And laddie like literally flipped. His lid was shouting, screaming everywhere. Went straight into the office and was just bollocking everyone.
Yeah.
That like I shouldn't have been told, because apparently you're not supposed to be told without someone with you.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you then, was your mum with you?
Supposed to have,
yeah.
no one was with me, bro, but everyone else's was. When in retrospect, when I've asked people, like, everyone at the parents bought in with them, because you're still a kid, you're still a kid.
Yeah,
that's really wrong, that, like, the fact you're on your own getting told that.
That was wrong, bro, that was wrong. And I always remember, because, so this was a normal random day in training, and then got told no, went into the changes. So I sorted myself out, just like, I'm not crying going in the changes. So went changes, and everyone was like, Duffy, always remember, went, how long, lad? I was just like, I didn't get one, bro. And he went, lad, shut up, lad. How long? Do you know what I mean? And then everyone's going, nah, come here. How long, Powley? How long? And then I was like, well, boys, didn't get one, you know. And then I started to feel myself getting upset again. And then I started crying again, just walked out again. And everyone was just like, the thing was just silent, I remember it. And I just walked down there. Everyone just ran after me, and the thing was grabbing me like, lad, you're okay in that? And then a fella called Rob Howe, big 6'4" fella he was, used to drive the bus, used to drop us all off, all over Liverpool, lad, he was everywhere. And I was like last drop off, because where I lived. And he was like, I come out and he was like, you're all right, Luke, but he never used to speak to me. Like, I'd get on the bus and he'd go, you're all right, Luke, that was it. Yeah. I told me and Rob said to each other, bro, you're all right, Rob? You're all right, Luke. See you later, Luke. See you later, Rob. That was it, bro. So I come out and he went, you're okay, mate? I said, yeah, I want to let you know, Rob. And he went, come here. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, keep your head up, lad, and that, do you know what I mean? And then I said, so are you supposed to go to school? I never ever went. You used to have to go to college twice a week for an hour and a half after you finish footy. So on like a Tuesday and a Thursday, you'd train till 4 in the afternoon, and then you'd do college from 4:30 till 6.
Yeah.
I'd sit there just doing whatever I wanted. Lad, I hated it. So and Mike Dick always said about he'd always be on me, Luke, come on, let's, like, just in case it doesn't work out, you need to do the school work. And I just wouldn't give it the time of day. And I used to struggle. I used to sneak off. So like I'd sneak on Rob's bus. Yeah. So like Rob still had people to drop off always, like whether it was young kids or old kids, and he'd do the same route. So I'd sneak away and just jump on the back of his bus, and then Rob would go, Luke, no, as I was getting off, you're not supposed to be on, you're supposed to be in school. And I'd be like, sorry, Rob, and get off. this time, so he'd never let me on, is what I'm saying. I'd have to sneak on. And after I got told this, I just walked straight out. Obviously, we had school again that night. And he said that. And I went, can you drop me off? He went, of course I can, lad. Don't be going to school. Like, you don't have to go to school tonight. Get yourself home and see your mum and that. And I went onto the back of the bus. And like, I always remember it again. I remember this so vividly, you know, boys. It's mad. I can feel it now. Do you get me? Like, I can. Yeah. And I was sat on the right side of the bus, looking out the window, and like, it was proper sinking in. I was like, what? Like, I'm going home now, but this isn't going to be where I come every day. You get me?
Yeah.
This is like being coming here with the boys for 5-6 years.
Was that it then? Do you know what they're like?
I was there still to the end of the season. So,
how did you feel in that time?
I was slotting. Like, I played again that weekend, right? This was on like the Tuesday or the Thursday, one or the other. That weekend we played again and scored again on the Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like, I was just, all the pressure was gone. Probably played the best footy in my life in them last 3-4 weeks. Swear I did, like. And so I was there anyway, but I didn't give a shit. Yeah. I nearly had a scrap with one of the coaches. You know, he was the goalie coach. Literally, I nearly had a scrap with him because he tried to like tell me to do something. I was just like, nah. I didn't really like get on with him anyway. So I was just like, shut up. You can shut up. And I was just an idiot. You know what I mean? I was just like, it wasn't good. I'm not like condoning my behaviour, but I just didn't care. Like, at that time, I was done with everyone. And lad, I honestly played the best footy I ever had because all pressure was gone. What pressure did they have, lad? I was walking in. Yeah. I wasn't getting a contact. I honestly, like, it was just like freedom. Like pure freedom,
Why
bro.
did he still make you play, though?
I don't understand. I didn't have to do anything, bro. The option was there to play to the end of the season. So I just stayed and they were like, we think you should stay and train. Yeah. And then we'll try and link up some other clubs for you. And they did. They put me in touch with Lincoln and they sorted some stuff out for me, do you know what I mean? And like, what do you want to do after it? Is there anything we can help you with? As I just mentioned before, they did do a bit for me, but yeah, they felt they didn't do great in some areas, like how they told me, but they did still provide a bit of support, you know what I mean? But I didn't give it, didn't give it like one bit of care in the world after I got told that, lad, honestly. Not about anyone, even like, you know, the older lads, like, he'd always be a little bit timid on the older lads. I was just like, what? What? Like, didn't care, lad, honestly, I didn't care. It was the what, and I took that mentality. I took that mentality from that day forward. That is me now. And it changed my life forever, bro. Changed who I am. And it was like that old thing of, again, like I've just said, I'm so happy I didn't, by the way. But if I'd had that mentality within that day of change, the very next day how I came in, if that was me, reversed it 2 years, I'd have been pro. I would have done so well, like, because physically I had the attributes. Yeah. Mentally, on the right day, I had the mentality. And I just didn't used to string it together. I just couldn't, something didn't click. And I clicked that day, bro. Everything come together there. Yeah. And I took that forward into my life.
So what happened next then? Like, what happened next in your life?
I was just on like a bit of a downward spiral, just going out, doing whatever I wanted to do, like just being an idiot, getting into trouble with the wrong people, and just as every kid does, go through that little, like, and then like got myself into some trouble, and my sister slash auntie, Helen. She's got 2 sons, Jude and Archie, and like they're everything to me. Do you know what I mean? They're my 2 little godsons, like. So I grew up with my nans with Helen. So I refer to her as my sister. We shared the room and that growing up. But she's my auntie. She's my nan's youngest, and my mum's sister. But we were just like brother and sister. Me and her. And she said, like, you can't see the lads and that. Do you know what I mean? I used to take them like bowling and stuff and whatever. And she was like, you can't see the lads. Do you know what I mean? You've got yourself into trouble. And you like, I don't want to be around the lads, and that's where I just was like, okay, I've got to make a change, Like my mum was saying the same type of stuff. No one wanted to kind of be associated with me, so I was like, right, okay, that was the turning point. I'm just going to get me shit together, and I did, lad. I got my stuff together. I'd done a PT course, moved in with my friend, Connor, who've paid for everything, boxed everything for years for me. Shout out to him, do you know what I mean? And I just started grafting and PTing every hour under the sun, bro, in MMA Academy, which was on the Dock Road, right by the Costco.
Yeah.
Little grotty gym, rats running around, damp on the walls, freezing me bollocks off, lad, every day. Up in there for 4:30, 5 o'clock every day. Yeah. Eating me food in there, training in there, PTing in there, reading books, asking the fella who owned the gym. He was an old military fella, very, very experienced in every walk of life, so just ask him every question under the sun, bro. I was like a little kid, you know, like, you know, and just, how'd you do this, bro? How'd you do that? And he'd just tell me everything, lad. Just tell me everything, bro. He was sick. I just earned my stripes, lad. I grafted. And along the way, made plenty more mistakes. Young kid, 21. Loads more mistakes along the way. And, but was slowly but surely becoming who I wanted to be, do you know what I mean? Slowly chipping away and structuring my character and who I wanted to be, and loads again. I said, like, some big turning points in my life, big things, big events, some like real crises, do you know what I mean? Some great times, and then some crises that just required immediate change and stuff, and just slowly got into it and developed the mentality of just, I just knew I was going to be successful, lad. Since I was a kid, I used to lie in my mum's bed. Me and my mum used to share the bottom bunk. Helen was on the top bunk, and me and my mum were on the bottom bunk. Single bed in my nan's. Nan in a box room, 3 uncles in the other room. That's how, like, in a 3-bed terrace house. That's how we grew up. When I say that's not like we were poor. I had everything I needed to have, but that was how we lived. And still, I'd be sat on the bottom bunk telling me, Mum, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get you a mansion. I'm going to retire. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Always said it to her. Lad, I'm going to do everything for you. So that was the age of 5, 6 that I can remember. And when I got to the age of like 24, 25, is when I actually started thinking, right, I actually need to have a plan here. How am I going to do this? When you're a kid, it's all well and good saying, I'm going to do this when I'm older. Because you haven't got
no steps in place, no.
then it's like, right, okay, now it's like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to retire my mum? How am I going to provide a legacy and generational wealth for my family so that I can change? Basically, I've become obsessed with changing my family's paradigm. So I don't know if you know what that kind of is. Like a paradigm is like basically your whole family line would, and like your ancestry would be in a certain paradigm of living, like a certain mindset. Now it can be like a poor mindset or
like you've labelled yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
Like we are this.
Yeah. This, because my mum done this and this is how I act. And my dad done this and this, and it seems to go on. And it's very hard to break out of that paradigm, brother, that your generations before you set.
Yeah.
And I was determined to just break it. Not that my family were bad. My family are amazing people, amazing. But we never had a lot.
Yeah.
And I wanted to break that. I wanted to experience like the great things in life and travel and break out of the monotonous daily routine of you get up, you go to work, you pay your bills, you go to bed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I wanted to break free of that paradigm. I wanted to experience greatness, and I was obsessed with it. Do you know what I mean? And then I went through a time in my life where I experienced like severe depression, brother. Like, I don't really even like to say depression because I don't. Well, I do believe in it. It's just I just believe that you can treat it without like the need for like a doctor's intervention, like drugs and stuff. I believe that you can shift your mindset.
Yeah.
I understand it's got its place. If someone's really at the point of they're about to do something silly, of course, drugs has got its place, and then you can slowly rein them back in. But I don't like to say like depressed because it gives people a false sense of security, like they can lean on it. Oh, I'm depressed, I can lean on that. But I was just experiencing like continuous negative thoughts. I couldn't think straight. I had a headache. I had physical effects as well as mental effects. Like, I'd wake up with like nosebleeds and headaches, and I'd feel nauseous every day. I had like irritable bowel syndrome. Like I just could never settle. I had shakes. I'd have panic attacks on a regular basis. Like, it was heavy. You know what I mean, boys? It was actually proper heavy.
Yeah.
It wasn't nice. Like, you'd be there with all the boys, just say a situation exactly like this now, take the mics away, we're chilling, and then I'd feel like I wanted to cry. Do you know what I mean?
Just for no reason.
No reason, bro.
Yeah.
And or like, I always remember this one time playing FIFA. Always remembered it, me and Connor in the flat playing FIFA, and my hands just started like shaking and my heart started pounding. I was having a panic attack in the middle of playing FIFA. Didn't know why. Didn't know it was like, what's going on? Like, it was the craziest time of my life, and it took me to the depths of hell, bro. I was so low. I can't even begin to explain to you how low it went. And I'd wake up in the morning and just think, please just let me go to sleep this night coming and wake up normal tomorrow. Let me just feel normal again. Because I knew what normal was, because I'd been normal before. So I just wanted to feel like that again. I didn't want nothing mad. I didn't want to feel ecstatic. I wanted to generally feel normal. That's all I wanted, bro.
Yeah.
And that, like, it was coming to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And that's where I started researching like self-help and mindset and positive thinking and affirmations and prayer, and how training can affect and cognitive function, and speaking to yourself and convincing yourself that you're well, and all stuff like this, and The Secret and Joe Dispenza. And I just went on this crazy journey, which I'm still on to this very day, of just learning everything there is to learn about the brain, how it works, how physical exercise can affect us, how mental conditioning of outside circumstances can affect how you feel and do things, and how you can eliminate that and concentrate on what's actually going on in your own mind instead of what you think you should think.
Yeah.
We're genuinely conditioned to think what people want us to think.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, bro. We don't think for ourselves. We think what we see on the phone, what we hear, what we read, and what we speak about, and what others say is right and what others say is wrong, and our moral code based on what others determine good and bad. And it's when you quiet everything else down, you quiet everyone else out, you concentrate on you, you already know all the answers anyway. You know what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah. So
you know what's right and what's wrong, and we're just conditioned in this sense of everyone's trying to basically please someone else. They're not trying to please themselves. It's all for someone else.
Yeah.
Even that, like what you wear, how you speak, your job that you're doing, the reason that you're trying to attain money, it's all for other people. The majority of the time, instead of for themselves. And if you ever ask someone, what are you actually going to work for? To pay the bills. What are you trying to pay the bills for? Because I need somewhere to live. Well, what do you like? Need somewhere to live. What you've got, there's no big purpose there. Like, it's like, I love when I speak to someone. What do you do? Like, what are you doing that for? I'm doing this, and then what I'm going to do is, lad, I'm going to save enough money. I'm going to move to Australia, and then I'm going to start my own. I'm just, yes, lad, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Not like, it's that. Yeah, because that's what you just do, isn't it? You got to pay the bills. You have to do this. You have to, like, it's just like, it's so mundane. It's so, like, and that's what I talk about, paradigms. This is what you do. This is just what you do. This is just, I thought this was life. That's not life. That's surviving. There's a difference between living and surviving.
Yeah.
Living is doing what you want to do. Surviving is doing what you feel you have to do, what you're told to do. Do you know what I mean? And like, my whole philosophy around the mental, that's what I was doing. I was surviving, and that's what sent me into depression.
Yeah.
I didn't really know why I was doing anything. There was no plan, which I said before. I didn't have a plan of how am I going to get. I still wanted all these things. I still wanted to retire my mum. I still wanted to create a legacy and do something with purpose and change people's lives and make a difference. But I didn't know how to. So I was doing stuff for the sake of doing it. There was nothing there. It was just to go out on the weekend or go on a holiday at the end of the month or the year or
That's all short term, isn't it?
all
Stuff like
short
that.
term, but
Have you ever seen Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett? He says something else, which it's like your mental diet is just as important as your physical one. So like if you're watching like Love Island or something all the time, but then someone else is watching something that they enjoy, but it's quite productive and constructive for them, they're getting ahead as well rather than
100%.
watching Love Island, do you know what I mean?
But there's a saying, bro, like, you never ever stood still. You're never neutral, right? You're either moving towards your goal or you're moving away. There's no such thing as staying still.
Yeah.
Because if you're staying still, you're moving away because the world's still moving. So if I decide to have a day off and say I'm just having a neutral day, the person competing against me, lad, is working. Therefore, I'm moving away from my goal because they're moving closer to there.
Yeah.
So you're losing. So there's no such thing as staying still. You're either moving towards your goal or away. So what I do now, a little technique, every single thing I do is sit there and say, am I moving towards my goal or away? And lad, it may sound obsessive and some people may be like, well, have a day off. And like, no, I won't have a day off.
Yeah.
I've got a mission to complete, and I've got like a purpose to fulfill and a potential to like reach as well. Like there's so much I want to achieve that I have to actually ask myself. That's so I can say this now. What am I doing now? Oh yeah, but I could be doing. No, I'm actually working here now. This is work. This is you asking me questions. I'm putting out my story. I'm trying to give people a little bit of an insight into how I feel people should think. And the advice that I'd like to offer people. This is work. Everything I've done today is revolved around work. I've recorded this morning. I've got up early. Even I went to the park with my little daughter and my fiance. Like that's progression towards my goal to be a better partner and a better father. I actually made that a point today. I texted my girl and said, can you bring the baby to meet us in picnic where he was on food because I want to go to the park with her. And I genuinely had the thought in my mind, I want to watch it on the swings. I want to be a better father.
Yeah.
So I'm moving towards my goals of being a better person. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Where I ate picnic, I either went and ate in McDonald's or I went and ate in picnic. What one's moving me towards my goal? Picnic.
Looks a good scrum, by the way, I must say.
Unbelievable.
See you on your story today.
Anyone local to Liverpool, bro, it's next level. The food is absolutely exceptional, bro. And it's halal as well for anyone who's Muslim or it's good quality food. It's lovely, brother. But like I say, like it's all just choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get up today, I'll go to JD gym and I'll do a little like light cardio and I'll get a sauna. Or I'll go in and I'll record the best workout I've done so far. Big energy, get the tunes on. Like design the best workout I can possibly do and then get a couple of little videos after to promote the brand. There's, you know what I mean? You might still think they're both moving towards me goal because I'm still working out essentially. So it gets to the point when you're in that elite mentality of it is the fine details now. you might be working out, but how are you working out and what are you doing, and is it helping what your end goal, or are you just working out, are you just plodding along, or are you working towards something? So every single thing I do in my life now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is moving me towards my goal. And you can end up sometimes going overboard, and my girl and my family will pull me on it, and do you know what I mean? When like I was away and just before Christmas and something's up with the website, I'm like, right, we were having a meal and I was just like, right, there's me 2 hours, I'm going to sort this. Do you know what I mean? So, and it can be a little bit, I understand that, but I have to be on my shit every single day. I have to be moving towards, because as I say, if I'm not moving towards it, I'm moving away from it, bro. And when people start to realise that, you can actually manipulate that to suit your life and have fun with it. Yeah. My day revolves around fun and doing things I want to do. Yeah, I'm moving towards my goal. And that's where the whole thing comes from, of do what you love. It's not some little fairy tale land, lad, where people are like, do what you love and everything will be fine. But just like this, bro, is a perfect example. Look at you two, you're doing what you want to do. Yeah. But it's productive, bro. Yeah. Like, you're doing what you want to do, sitting on the couch, chilling, like chatting to someone, and but you're doing what you want to do, bro.
It's balance, isn't it? Yeah. Between all the things,
But it says manipulating the situation to suit you. Yeah. I want to relax and chill and talk to the boys all the time, so why don't I start a podcast? Instead of, I want to chill and talk to the boys all the time, so that's what I'm going to do instead of anything else. Yeah. Yeah. Make it work for you.
That's a good way to look at it. I don't think we ever thought of it like that, have we?
Is it making it work for you, bro? And big up to you both, man. Seriously.
Thanks a lot.
And you just continue to do that with everything in your life. So, another example, I love coffee. So you'll see within the next year, I'm going to have my own coffee shop and my own coffee brand. That's what we're working on. I love coffee, so why not? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love fitness, so that's already done. I love like well-being, so we've got the well-being centre here, well-being. Saunas, cold water therapy, yoga, ShredFast sessions, a gym. You know what I mean? We've got the Care 10 mil in there, bro, where everything, kettlebells all over the place. It's like, that's what I love, so I've created that environment. I love coffee, and like that's going to be the next one. I love food, so I'm collaborating with Picnic, so I get to go there every day. Yeah, I love the environment of Picnic because they've got some nice relaxing music on, the wood effect of it. They've got plants up, there's fruit, they've got a lovely coffee there that they have. The people there greet you amazingly. The service is top notch. The food is top quality. Like, I'm making it work. You're making it work for you. Like, it's just literally every single day I get up and think whatever I want to do, whatever my likes and passions are in life, I just think, how can I make this work for me? How can I do this without it taken from me? How can I do this and it gives to me? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the things that you love to do, how can you take something from it so that it's a two-way street? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It has to give and take. That's the law of the universe, give and take. And if you continue to do that with different things, I never used to understand the concept of 7 sources of income to become a millionaire, because I used to think I wouldn't want 7 sources of income. Now I'm starting to understand it, because I'm getting up 2, 3, 4 different sources, and it's all within the one industry of well-being. Yeah. So that's where it makes perfect sense. But what I wouldn't want to do in my own, this is just me personally, is have, like, say for example, you've got your well-being and then you've got like something completely non-related to this. I don't know, just off the top of my head, like a cleaning company. Yeah. Just off the top of my head. I don't think that'd work for me personally, just with me and my personality. Some people are brilliant at that and they've got them brains that can just be like boom, boom, boom. For me, everything needs to be all in of the same. So a cleaning business for me wouldn't relate to health and well-being, so I wouldn't put any energy into it, and it'd end up falling by the wayside. Yeah. Coffee, it's related. You know, I always have a coffee before the train and have a coffee after the train. Food, same again. Before and after your train's a part of life. Training obviously goes without saying as a part of health and well-being. Yoga, mindfulness, cold water therapy, walking, running, all these things are like connected to that. So I'll try and make them work for me rather than just do them. I try and how can I make something out of this? How can I make a business out of doing what I love to do?
I think in this country we sort of get, I don't know any other countries, but we get told like, I don't know, you're not allowed to say you're good at things. Like even say when you're a kid and that, say if you get like a good grade in school, no one wants to tell anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly what you mean, bro.
So I think that feeds into that. People just think, oh, I can't do that. Oh, he's doing it, but we can't do that because we're whatever.
You're dot on, bro. We haven't actually really like you do though, don't you? Like you're seen as arrogant.
Yeah.
To say like I'm brilliant at this, like you're seen as arrogant, but at the end of the day, it's not. You're not. I love when people say it. Like I absolutely love it when you get someone and they're like, yeah, I'm like, no when you get. Say you need a job doing in your house, and like you're like you want an electrician to come round, and they come and they're like, you know what, right, mate, and they're just dead edgy and sketchy, and yeah, I'll probably do that, and you just oh like fucking hell, where's this guy from? But then you get someone who comes in and goes, right, we're gonna go boom, 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 and I'll do it for this, and I get it done in this time. You're just like, yes,
yeah,
bit of authority, bit of conviction in his voice, lad. Like, let's go with this guy instead of Mickey Mouse over here.
It's confidence, innit?
Like, yeah, just confident. Like, I will do this for you. Like, I had it when we was building the wellbeing centre, and like, you get different quotes off people, and you get people who sell you the world, and they're just liars.
Yeah.
And then you get the ones who, again, are too timid, and then you get the ones who come in and just go, yeah, it's like, this is how it is, lad. It's going to cost this much. This is how we'll do it. This is the time frame. Deal done. Do you want it or not? Because like we're not waiting around, and you're like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? I'll go with you, lad, because you're confident in your ability. You speak with conviction, and you like you've got a bit about you, a bit of character. Because there's a great saying, and with technology now and with the internet, it's not what you know anymore. It's how you portray and get across what you know with character and personality.
Yeah.
Because it genuinely isn't what you know anymore. Nothing is. Nothing, lad. So, because, just a small example, so a personal trainer could just Google anything about fitness they wanted, and copy and paste the article onto their Instagram with a picture of them looking ripped, and then sound like the cleverest person ever and get loads of traction on it, just as a brief example.
Yeah.
The internet's there for anything. So I could say, you don't know blah-de-blah though, and you just go, that's the answer. It's at the fingertips, lad. You can know anything about anything. If I say to you now, when were the pyramids built? Not that people actually don't know that. just say, for example, when were the pyramids built, or when did the Egyptians live? What era was the Egyptians in? You can find out in less than 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Imagine that, like years ago, bro.
Yeah.
They're about to do degrees and stuff. So it's not what you know anymore. That's gone.
Yeah.
That's dead in the water. That's fully dead. Now it's about what character have you got, what intention is behind what you're doing, and like what you like how do you make it different? How is it just that little bit different? Just like the niche, like we spoke about before we started. What's your niche? Why is it different? Because anyone can tell me, don't eat as much as you burn, and like do running twice a week and lift weights 3 times a week and you'll get in shape. Yeah, I will, but anyone can tell you that. Someone who's not in shape can tell you that. So what makes you different? Why do I have to listen to you? Tell me, rather than him.
It's retaining their attention, isn't it? But that's what Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything's like, isn't it? The longer people watch, they reward you with more views, which means more.
Attention is the new currency.
Yeah.
Attention is the new currency. So once you've got people's attention, you need to be very careful in how you direct it, and you need to be very mindful of the fact that you're influencing people, and people who've got no intention and got no model. Like got no core values, and they're not in line with the models. It's dangerous, bro. And these people who are also really uneducated, and who are trying to educate people on matters that they're not educated on, it's dangerous again for young kids and children, and even just even adults when they're trying to be told that they're looking for advice. Sorry, and there's so much out there now from people who genuinely haven't lived and breathed and haven't had their experience with it, which we spoke about before again. Like, they haven't been in the trenches with these things. They haven't got the experience firsthand to back up the advice that they're given. And it is dangerous, but the right people are always heard differently, I feel.
So before we get finished up, we normally ask a question, what would you give, like, your 17-year-old self, if you would have to give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
don't care what others think, bro. Like what happened when I was 19. Like, do
Yeah.
not care what anybody thinks of you whatsoever. Like, don't let any judgment of anybody, anyone, affect how you want to live your life.
Yeah.
But stay as close to good models as possible. And you all know your good models at core. You know what feels right and what feels wrong when you do it.
Yeah.
No, like little thing, like you leave a bit of litter and you just know you shouldn't, and you're going
Yeah,
pick it
yeah.
up. Those little things, I just try and stay as close to them as I can. And in the meantime, I genuinely just would say to anyone, just don't care what anyone's opinion of anything is. Do what feels right to you. Do what you want to do. Just follow your dream with it, bro.
Yeah.
Who was the best player you played with and best player you played against at Everton?
At the time or now, like for what they'd done in the career afterwards, or at the time?
At the time.
Jose Baxter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time. Seen him score a corner, top bin. Like, he put the thing down, the keeper was like trying to tell someone, like I'm out of mark, and he just whipped it in top bin from a corner.
Yeah.
Like 15, 14.
Was he better than everyone at that time?
He was
Yeah.
brilliant, lad. He was strong,
Yeah.
boss eye for the ball. And like, he'd make runs and he'd just play it in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just found
Natural,
it.
yeah.
He was class, lad. He was good. Like, I've got it. Connor though, you know, Connor on form, lad,
Yeah.
is like unstoppable. Like how choppy and sharp he is.
Yeah.
And then it's finished, you know what I mean? Like, next level. But in terms of who's accomplished the most, who I played with, I'd say Shane Duffy.
Yeah.
I watched him captain. When did he captain? Don't quote me on that, but I watched him play at Lyon against France in the Euros. He got sent off.
Oh, for Ireland, yeah.
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 But watching him, his mum and dad were behind me. He stood there in the national anthem, bro, and I was crying again, bro, I won't even lie. Just watching him with his chest out, just singing the national anthem. 50,000 people in the Lyon stadium. It was heavy. Sun was shining, it was about 35 degrees that day.
Yeah.
That was heavy. So to see him accomplish that from
Yeah.
rolling around wrestling with him when he was 14, 15 in the indoor gym, I remember. So from there to there, I'd say Shane. At the time, I'd say Jose and Connor, close second.
What about playing against?
Welbeck.
Welbeck, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Had a boss career, hasn't he?
Yeah.
As well, won leagues, trophies.
He went through and goal one time and like just scooped it over the keeper, you know, like not even a lob, he just like lifted it over him.
Yeah.
Like, he just couldn't be arsed, like, fuck's sake. Like, to get into too easy. I think that was like his fourth goal or something. He was just next level, lad.
Yeah.
And do you know who was unbelievable as well? Kieran Trippier. He was my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant, bro. Right back, solid as a rock. Who else, lad? Honestly, some players our age. You know, there's a kid called Kyle who played for Wolves. Do you know who that is?
Do you know the surname?
Nah, lad. He had dreadlocks,
Kyle.
mixed race, quite small, stocky. He was at Wolves.
Was he a fullback?
No,
No.
he's a centre mid, lad. He was class, dead small, but dead strong.
Nah, I'm not too
Carl
sure.
Henry.
No, his
No.
name was Kyle, definitely. Kyle. Can't remember his second name, but he was good as well as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? There was a couple more, though. Who else was good back in the day? Probably say, then Welbeck, I'd say.
Yeah.
Number one, lad. He was so strong, so skillful. Dead relaxed, like, dead laid back.
Yeah.
He just didn't seem to care, but was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taller than everyone and just brilliant, lad. Different, there's levels to it. Levels to that footy game, man. Hence why not everyone can make it.
Yeah. And where do you think you'll be in 5 years' time?
At the top of the fitness game, 100%
Yeah.
fact. And also, hopefully, God willing, just with a couple more children, a few more kids on the way, and yeah, just that, yeah, so a bigger family, all me close people of perfect physical and mental health, traveling abroad, like quite often. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And having something in the sun. I love the sun.
Yeah.
And you're just at the top of the fitness game with ShredFast. Was ShredFast the top of the fitness game? Not major ShredFast, the brand at the top of the fitness game, but I see myself being the CEO of that brand
Yeah.
at the top of
It's
the game.
right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and we normally ask what's your favourite pint, but you mentioned you like coffee before, so what's your favourite coffee?
Favourite coffee? it's just a black Americano. It's boring that though, innit? So I just have a black Americano with loads of honey. That's me little one after. But a flat white, I don't mind a flat white in the morning.
Yeah, I had one of them for this.
But a pint as well. I don't drink anymore. But pint used to just be a Carl on top. Used to love a Carl on top.
It's the first time we've had Carl on the thing on this,
I think it is.
Carl on top. Carl on top to start off on a nice summer's day, bro. That was the one. But yeah, them days are completely gone now. On a different path. Little daughter to look after now.
Yeah.
Fair play.
So is there anything you want to promote?
Yeah, don't even promote, just like me the program in itself. It's, if anyone's interested in getting in shape, like physically and mentally, just it's a lifestyle program. It's ShredFastprogram.co.uk and my Instagram, shred.fast. And we've also got a brand new wellbeing centre, state of the art. It's got everything you could want. Heal Wellbeing, High Energy Abundant Life. It stands for the HEAL. So anyone wants to get down there, it's by the Lambanana. I can't even think of the name of the street now, where the old flyover used to be in Liverpool, banging them with the city centre. But if you type in Heal Studios or Heal Wellbeing on Instagram, and you can book your classes through there, you can look at the memberships we've got, and that's where the ShredFast classes are now held in our city. So if you do want to do a ShredFast class, which is kettlebells, body weight, and with a spin, with a very unique spin on it, and that's the only place in Liverpool that's doing it, and that's the only place that will ever hold them, is Heal Wellbeing. But the online program can be done from anywhere. You just need a set of kettlebells, but that's going really well. Be good. Hope actually give me the slogan for that as well. Join the movement. It was mad because he just done a little video on Instagram and said that I recommend everyone to join the ShredFast movement, and that's actually one of our slogans now. Shout out to Hope again for it. But if you do want to join the movement, you just hit it up, you subscribe online, and you get access. We've now got an app as well that's just come out, ShredFast app on Apple Store and Android.
Yeah, so that's been Luke Powell. Yeah, thanks very much for that. I think there's a lot of
nice
takeaway messages from that. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and give us a 5-star review on Spotify if you will as well. Thanks very much.
Nice one for watching.